What's up, Copy Squad? It's your boy, Kyle Milligan of KyleTheWriter.com, coming to you live from Baltimore, Maryland. And today we're going to talk about the best copy versus good copywriting. There's one key ingredient that I think is overlooked, underplayed, or completely just unknown or unheard of before. So let's talk about the source of this idea. Sorry I'm so late. I'm at a hotel in Baltimore and I realized I had nothing cold to drink. And it was like the first time it ever crossed my mind that I always have something to drink on these lives, and I had to actually run down to the lobby and grab something. Today's drink, Diet Coke. That's good. Delicious chemicals. It's cold though, and that's what matters. We don't know if you can hear me and if the feed is okay, because like I say, I am on a hotel Wi-Fi, so I don't know if it's going to be as clear today as usual. Just let me know in the comments. So we're talking about the key ingredient that separates the best copy from good copy. And I think I'll go ahead and just introduce this book that gave me the idea. The book is called, make sure I can see myself. The book is called The Ferocious Copywriter Manifesto, and this is by our very own Brian McGrath. He's a copy chief at Agora Financial, and he sent me this book in the mail as like a direct mail piece to me. And I was going to recommend people buy it. But you can't. I didn't know that, so I'll tell you how to get it at the end of the video if you remind me. So there's one piece that he puts in here. It's a really short read about being a ferocious copywriter, and it really just means like going for the throat, like really revving up like your emotion. And I think that's the thing that really resonates with me is that he's like, no, dude, this is an emotional sell, right? So I've got a book, my own book out. It's called Take Their Money. It's about the big four emotions. And the reason that book is so important and its message is important is because it takes you out of that mindset of how to write copy, right? Like I always say, we're not putting together a piece of furniture. We're trying to trigger very specific emotions. And the thing about it, and this is going to lead into my topic, what separates the best copy from good copy is that emotional trigger, but there's something even more specific I'm going to talk about. But if you go to, if you're interested in learning about how to trigger these emotions, new, easy, safe, and big, and these are critical to selling basically anything, you can go to KyleTheWriter.com/book and check out my book, Take Their Money. Now I'm going to read a passage from this book to you. And it says, John Carlton always used to say that great copy should scare a client. And then ... scrolling on down, Ryan writes, the implications of it are almost frightening because it's going to reach so many people and push so many buttons that people are going to freak out. But at the same time, we feel if those buttons are pushed correctly, it's going to generate maybe tens of millions of dollars. And that is basically the central selling point of my personal book, Take Their Money, is that the writing should be an emotional button push. So what's the difference between the best copywriting and good copywriting? The one original title I had for this is who your copywriting should truly scare. It shouldn't be that you shouldn't be like frightening the customer into pooping their pants. I mean, maybe if you're writing a fear-based advertisement or something, you should. I don't know. But your client should actually be a little bit nervous. Whenever you put copy in front of them, and I'll explain exactly why, it has to do with the big four emotions. So Ryan wrote that you're going to push so many buttons that it's going to freak people out. But you have to push buttons and you have to freak people out to get them to emotionally buy into what you're selling. So whenever you bring a piece of copy to a client, and a lot of you guys are freelancers, I'd say it's like almost like 50-50 and like split up between freelancers or newbies trying to get into copywriting and like internet marketers who are looking for like new angles and new ways to approach copywriting itself. But your writing should be, and I can speak firsthand because I just wrote my own sales letter and that should be going live like tomorrow or tonight. I'm excited about that. But speaking firsthand, when I started to write my own sales letter and put my name on it, the promises that I was making, and I was using new, easy, safe, and big, it startles you as a person with your name on it. So whenever you write something up for your client and you hit the emotions of new, easy, safe, and big, the customer reading it on the other side is going to get emotionally revved up. They are going to get charged because you have made a big promise, right? A big promise is like you've committed that they're going to experience something brand new. And then you've made like a big promise on that, and then it's going to be easy and credible. It's like, so you basically checked off that, it's new, easy, safe, and big. So you've got a new approach that's going to change their life, it's really easy for them to accomplish this change if they follow the steps or whatever, and that it comes from a credible source, the guru or the brand that you're selling from. And that will startle the person a little bit, the client, especially if they're not used to being like, if they're, for instance, if you're selling like financial newsletters, right? If you're selling financial newsletters, you've got this guy who's used to going on like CNBC or Business Insider or something like that and speaking very factually about stocks. He's not used to playing these emotional buttons in people to get them riled up about the stock market. So when you put that copy in front of him, it should actually startle him a little bit. Like, whoa, like he's not used to having, again, he's used to reporting dry facts. So it's not a language that he's used to speaking. Many people aren't used to speaking. Even people who call themselves copywriters are not truly speaking the language of copy. Like, they think they understand copywriting because they've read it before and they see that it's written like a simple third to fifth grade, not third's so low, like fifth or sixth grade writing level. And they're like, okay, I get it. You're right, short, punchy sentences that sound really exciting. But no, it's not until you actually trigger these big four emotions and you start pushing buttons that people get riled up. And it is that sort of commitment or obligation. I'm trying to think of this. Like when your name is on the line and you know people have expectations. Okay, that's the risk of it for the client. It's like, whoa, this is a big promise, and it has to be a big promise to compel people to buy stuff. Good copy is, again, best copy is separated from good copy by making sure it has a big promise that also is new, it's easy, it's safe, and it's a big promise. Okay, so whenever it gets in front of a client, especially someone who's in a dry marketplace, something like financial investments and stuff like that. It should startle them a little bit. I was on my way to another line and I lost it. Sometimes I get on these rants and my brain goes in three directions and I'm like, okay, remember this one and keep talking about this one and I'll come back to that one. And then I always end up forgetting it. It also helps if I take notes, which I don't ever do. So let's see if I got anything else to go here. So yeah. Long story short, the best copy versus a good copy, the one key ingredient. And again, I might change the title of this one to say who your copy should really scare. And it should be the client, actually, unless they're like super well into direct marketing and they finally get it. And that's another thing, is like a lot of people will blame their lack of success on their client. My client doesn't understand. My client doesn't this. My client won't give me the information I need, et cetera, et cetera. It is your job as a copywriter to either like find that middle ground where the client's happy and you can make a big promise that commits to new, easy, safe, and big, and you're both satisfied, or it is your job to persuade the client because you're supposed to be a professional persuader anyway. Build a case for your argument, right? We're speaking to an emotional, we're selling here, we're not giving away information. Trying to think of where I had something a rant I wanted to go on, I lost it. I think it had to do with like the obligation that they feel, the promises they now have to fulfill, because stock people are generally used to just reporting facts, then you go do whatever you want. But that doesn't compel people to do anything. If you want someone to jump on board, if you want someone to feel compelled to take action, generally to buy your stuff, you have to trigger these big four emotions. And again, sometimes a client who just wants to like make a difference or just wants people to buy because my product's good won't understand that those facts don't compel the sale. They might make people think, oh, that's neat, right? Like, cool, good for you, right? But that's like whenever you go on Facebook and you post, I'm going into freelance copywriting, and your cousin and your brother and your mom and everybody says, wow, good for you, way to go, you're going to be a star, right? But nobody's like buying your stuff. Nobody's hiring you. That's what it is, dude. People are just like, rah, rah, you got best product. I'm happy for you. But nobody's buying. The way to get people to buy, it is to trigger the big four emotions. New, easy, safe, and big. And again, when people get on the hook for that, right? When people feel responsible. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. When people feel responsible, that they triggered those emotions and they know that people are emotionally engaged. Oh, I think this is where I want to go. I hate that it took so long in the video for me to get to this. I think I just lost it again. Okay, people don't want to ruffle emotions. That's what it comes down to. Is as like a social group, we do not want to, like, in general, rile people up. We generally want to fly beneath the radar. We don't want to draw attention, and basically nobody wants a bunch of haters, right? So look at like sheeple, right? People are like hardwired to conform. There are a few of us who like go a little nuts and like they step out a little bit, but in general, most people want to like kind of blend in, and that's a problem. That's why new is the #1 non-negotiable sort of emotion you must trigger. It must be something unique, because if you blend in, nobody will notice. So whenever you come out with big claims, big promise, something easy, something safe, and something big, it should startle your client a little bit. Again, unless he's super into direct response and is on board with all that kind of stuff. If it's just a guy who says, like, I'm selling a real estate course and I want more people to buy. How do I get more people to buy because nobody's buying? That person probably needs some education in direct response and emotional selling. Does that make sense? I should probably check for questions and comments, because this one's gotten a little rambly. Wasn't very well planned. I won't lie. I'll admit that was not my best planning for this one. All right. I'm not seeing any comments coming through. Well, I may just sign off on that. I didn't have a ton left. Oh, I could tell you how to get this book. So this is Ryan's book, The Ferocious Copywriter Manifesto. And I asked him, I was like, hey man, how do I tell people to buy your book? He said, you can't. You have to email me. So email him, tell him Kyle sent you. His email is rcmcgrath@agorafinancial.com. Right there. If you're interested in getting hold of his book, it's like a, hope you can see that. It's like a little 40-page book it's basically about copywriting mindset. And it'll really actually, if you follow me, I think you'll enjoy it, because he's really talking about like going for the kill. Don't be a little wuss. Like be ferocious. And I guess it's free. I don't know. Maybe you gotta pay him. You can email him to find out. Tell him Kyle sent you. That's another thing. Here's something I can tell you about. Whenever you email anyone at Agora Financial, if you're a follower of mine, I do recommend that you mention me. There's a copywriter hack, or not a copywriting, yeah, it's a copywriting hack. Bing! I'm going to put a link up here. For people watching on YouTube, you'll see a link pop up for the copywriting hack that can basically allow you to steal credibility. And so watch that video. I think that's important for anyone who wants to. I have people all the time say, I'm just not credible. I don't have any testimonials. I don't have a portfolio, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there's a copywriting hack you can steal. Watch that video, and it'll teach you how to do that. So you can, emailing anyone at Agora Financial and you follow me, it will help you get free credibility if you say you watch my videos, follow me, and you believe in like my copywriting methodology. Because there's a large chunk of that based in the Copy Camp from Agora Financial, based on mentorship from Copy Chiefs at Agora Financial, and based from my experience working with some of the best publishers and other writers in the world. So whenever you can kind of juxtapose your name next to mine, easy credibility hack. Watch that video I linked to, that'll help out. I don't see any other, still waiting for comments, don't see any. So I'm gonna sign off. That's all I've got for today. But yeah, the difference between like good copywriting and bad copywriting is, God, I kind of wish I could refilm this one. The difference is, it's really going for the throat, is what I want to say. It's about writing copy that's so bold that it scares the client. And now I just want to delete this and start over with that. Your copy needs to be bold, because you're going for the throat. You're going for emotions that get people riled up. You're going for something that makes someone super excited, right? And ready to do something like spend their hard-earned cash. And if you don't write to something that extreme, you will not get results. You will blend in. You will just be another face in the crowd. Like, just a large amount of like liking and trust generally doesn't get you there. You usually need a compelling bump to make someone pull out their wallet or their credit card. It just takes that sometimes a little bit extra, but really what it just takes is that you go for these specific emotions that I outline in my book at kylethewriter.com/book. It's called Take Their Money. It'll teach you the secret language of copywriting, which is communicated in the subtext of the words written on the page. That's all I got for today, Copy Squad. Thanks so much for tuning in. Signing off now. Peace out.